Congratulations, Mr. O'Brien. You've just won $10,000 tax-free. How do you feel?
Great, I guess. If you react to news like I just did, chances are you've got depression.
For Australian Olympic gold medalist John Conrads, the chances of having depression didn't seem very high. But in his 50s, after a highly successful sporting and business career, he suddenly found himself struggling to dive into life each day.
In 2001, I fell into a deep depression. But, you know, I've been down before. I was brought up in the era of 50s and 60s school kids. Just pull your socks up, get your act together, fix yourself up, you know, and don't tell anybody. Big boys don't cry. That sort of stuff. And I sort of struggled through it, and at one board meeting, Professor Gordon Parker, the executive director, said, "John, you better come up and see me." And in his words, he saw the light go out of my eyes. And here I was, sitting next to one of the most eminent psychiatrists in the world, and I didn't go to him, he came to me, which is a big mistake on my part. But nevertheless, that's the way it happened.
Not everyone will be as fortunate as John was to have someone to alert them to their ongoing struggle. For many, it can take a long time to wake up to the fact that things, well, just aren't normal.
Shut up! Most of us find it really hard to accept that we actually have a problem. And who can blame you? It is a tough thing to admit. But the first and most vital step is accepting that there is a problem and getting help.
And Gordon said, "Well, yeah, John, I think you're depressed, and it's biological." I said, "What does that mean?" It means it's brain chemistry that used to work doesn't work anymore. Yeah, so it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Everything that I've done, good and bad, is my responsibility. I'm one of those sort of, you know, types. And to realise that this suffering was not my fault was just a huge relief off my shoulders.
So here's the simple science. Essentially, it comes down to the chemical and electrical activity in the brain. When they malfunction, we can experience unusual behaviour and radical changes in our personality. These malfunctions can sometimes be genetic, but they can also be triggered by extraordinary circumstances and stressful situations, like births, deaths and marriages. The good news is there's plenty of help available.
I'm no brain surgeon, but I think we can all agree that anxiety and depression are major problems. So if you or somebody you know is having an issue, you need to go and see a doctor soon.
Thinking back, I wish I'd talked about it then, you know, because asking for help is a strength. It's not a weakness. Hiding a problem is a weakness. And particularly these days when there's no more stigma associated with mental disorders, talk to people, because it's you'll find that they oh, well, thank heavens you talked to us about that, because we've been noticing you've changed and you know, your work hasn't been as good as it used to be, and you know, come out with it, because the good news is that it can be treated, it can be not cured necessarily, but it can be treated in a permanent way that means that you can be effective and the same as you used to be and live life to the fullest.
It's your body, it's your health, it's your responsibility.